Perhaps the opening credits are indicative of how we're doing today. Live from Studio 10 in downtown Wenatchee, Wake Up Wenatchee Valley has safely arrived, but just barely on the airwaves. It is Wednesday, the 7th day of November, 2018. I am Dan Kuntz, the day after the midterm elections, and hope you had a chance to exercise your right to go out and vote. That'll be, of course, our top news stories. We have a number of them to get to. All the local races. Also, we'll take a brief look at how the initiatives went, the balance of power in the Washington State Legislature, both the House and the Senate, what's going to go on there. You pretty much know the national story by now. We'll have interviews with numerous candidates, both some who got on the top side of the ballot and some who are a little on the underwater side. Huge turnout, very impressive turnout. Talking to Skip Moore last night when we were broadcasting live for election night coverage. Skip Moore, of course, is the Chelan County Auditor. He was very, very pleased with the turnout, well over 70%, which is a rarity for a midterm election. Good stuff. If you exercise your right to vote, nicely done. We appreciate it. Lots to get to besides election results. We'll have other news or other things that made news on Tuesday. We'll get to that. We have your sunny and chilly weather forecast. We're in for quite a bit of sunshine over the next week or so as high pressure begins to exert itself. It's actually up over British Columbia, but pretty strong. But that's going to mean lots of sunshine, but chilly overnight lows. It's chilly out right now. 34 outside of our studios. Forecast details are coming up. Also, we have sports. We got a broadcast tonight. It is the first round of the State 4A Girls Soccer Tournament. The Eastmont Wildcats will be hosting the Central Valley Bears out of the Greater Spokane League. That game begins at 5 o'clock. We will be there to air the game at 7 o'clock tonight. That way you will not miss the news at either 5 or 6 with Eric Ranstrom. So we got that to talk about when we get to sports. We have the obscure holiday. We have today in history. We have birthdays. We have everybody's entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. So let's start out where we always start out. Let's take a look-see around the north central Washington and the Wenatchee Valley with our Valley View cameras. All of these cameras, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi high-speed wireless network, and it's a very simple thing. You can get screaming fast internet, fiber-fast internet to your house or your cabin or your motorhome, whatever the case may be, and you don't need fiber physically run to where you live. All you need is a dish and be able to shoot at any of our 60 some odd locations scattered all over north central Washington. That, of course, is a beautiful shot of the Wenatchee Valley proper. The sun is just beginning to bathe Birch Mountain and the Sunny Slope area as it begins to creep over the east Wenatchee Bench. Of course, sunrise, the days are getting shorter and shorter. Sunrise is now just happened just a couple of minutes ago. Good looking view there. Again, lots of sunshine for the foreseeable future, but very chilly weather. Camera 2 is a shot of downtown Wenatchee. There's another shot of the sun just beginning to kiss Birch Mountain and the upper part of the valley. And good shot of the downtown Wenatchee. That's Wenatchee Avenue, of course, heading northbound on this Wednesday morning. Camera 3, Kat says, let's go see what's happening at our new camera that we just got up and rolling a little bit. That is not too far. That's the Columbia River that you see there. As the crow flies, to the left would be basically Chelan. I guess is about the best way to put it. This is on your way between Chelan and Pateros. That's the Highway 97 that you see on the left. That's a good looking camera there. And again, it seems like it's out in the middle of nowhere. It isn't really, but for those folks who can see that from wherever they're at, they can get Sky-Fi high-speed wireless internet in camera 4. Let's say good morning to Cashmere. That's our Appalachians camera, I believe. The Wenatchee River flowing mightily along, cold and fast. US Highway 297 running right alongside of it as people make their morning commute. A lot of people, of course, live in Cashmere but work in Wenatchee. We have 3 or 4 co-workers who live in Cashmere but work in Wenatchee. Beautiful shot there. You can see Mount Cashmere, Mount Stewart, and the Cascade Mountains and Cashmere proper. We call that the Apple Annie's camera because basically that tower is right above Apple Annie's, which is not quite in view of your screen. 4 minutes after the hour from the National Weather Service. That way, if you don't like the weather, you can blame the government. Here's your forecast. Lots of sunshine, just a couple of passing clouds Friday and Saturday, but we're finally going to cool back down again. Yesterday's high, Tuesday's high was 57, and that made it 12 consecutive days, counting yesterday, that the high temperature was above normal. That is about ready to change. Our normal high temperature right around this time of the year is 50, 49, 48, right in that upper 40s, lower 50s. And as you can see, that's where we're going to be for our afternoon highs right on through Tuesday of next week. So it's going to be dry. There's no real precipitation at all in the forecast. A couple of passing clouds on Friday, but high pressure is going to take over all the way through at least Tuesday of next week. Look at those overnight lows below freezing beginning tonight. As I mentioned, it's only 34 outside of our studios. In fact, in Manson right now, it's 29 degrees. So lots of sunshine, temperatures just about normal for this time of year, both the afternoon highs and the overnight lows, which are normally down in the mid-30s. So the overnight low is going to be a little cooler than normal. The afternoon highs just about normal. Lots of sunshine, chilly, but very pleasant indeed. Friendly reminder, Veterans Day is Sunday. Veterans Day is Sunday. There will be a parade in Wenatchee on Sunday, Veterans Day, November 11th, which will also mark the centennial, the 100th anniversary of the ending of World War I. But Veterans Day observed for federal offices and schools, things like that would normally be closed on Veterans Day, is actually going to be observed on Monday, the 12th of this month. 6 minutes after the hour, we have a whole bunch of election news to get to, and we're going to do that in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this. Thank you, Kat. I almost forgot about the pass cams. We're making that transition, so I forget. Yeah, we take a look at the passes. Let's take a look at the passes. I got nothing for you. It's looking really good. I-90, no advisories, no restrictions. Roadways bare and wet. Clear skies up above. As far as Stevens Pass is concerned, pretty much the same deal. They had some snow yesterday. Snow's gone now. If you're taking US 2, you'll find some frost and ice in places close to the summit. Outside of that, no problems at all on Stevens Pass. No snow in the forecast, some patchy fog, and that's a live shot of Blewett. No advisories, no restrictions. The roadway is pretty much bare and wet. There is no snow and no precipitation at all forecast for the mountain passes for at least right through the weekend anyway. So things look pretty cool up in the Cascades. Now, we'll take a 1 minute break and come back with the news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we hope, on the NCW Live channel.
I came here to CVCH because one of my friends referred me. When I met Dr. Jocelyn, she was just amazing. She connected with my son, and it meant so much to me. He opens up so quickly because she just sits there and plays with him. It really is like going to see a friend. It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted and respected. It just feels like home.
The NCW Live channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and Other Stuff. The 12th District. Life with Lisa. And the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Live channel is your local TV station.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Just about 9 minutes after the hour, I'm Dan Kuntz, filling in for senior news correspondent Steve Hare. And here's your Wednesday morning news. The results from Tuesday's election night have Sean Smith leading Bob Burgert for the Chelan County District 2 Commission seat. Smith is holding on to a slim 51 to 49% lead. Smith said last night that he was confident that that lead would hold up.
I'll just be, anxiously waiting to see what the outcome is, and confident that the lead will hold. And we have a slim lead right now, but we're coming in from the outlying areas, and I think that's more conservative draws in the outlying areas. So anxious to see those numbers come in from the smaller towns.
Yeah, precinct by precinct, we don't have the breakdown yet, and we won't have it for a while yet, but you think you're going to pull pretty well in the Upper Valley?
I think I will, yeah, especially in the smaller areas.
We all know the last week of what was going on with the media reporting on some of the issues with the Walkabout Grill and the taxes and stuff. You think that played a significant role, or people look past that?
I think anyone that has a realistic bone in their body looked past it and said, hey, business is business. It's a larger version of what we do in our own homes, and everybody has bills. It doesn't matter who you own. We all have bills.
Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett appears to have held off a challenge from Deputy Jennifer Tyler. He polled 65% of the vote, going to the incumbent. He talked to NCW Life News outside of his campaign headquarters.
We're very excited tonight to come in with a strong victory, and the support's been overwhelming throughout the campaign. People reaching out. My phones were blowing up today of support and of good words and good thoughts, and just the fact that, but I addressed our supporters here. We had a large crowd here at our gathering. earlier tonight, and we just gathered them around about 10 minutes before we thought the numbers were going to be coming in, and because I just wanted them to hear from me personally, from my heart, what things meant and their support, and why I felt that we have the right team to move forward in the future as one of the first third-term sheriffs in a long time for Chelan County. And that being is, it takes a team, and it's not just myself. I walk down the halls in our office or around town, and the people that I work with and partner with, and it's easy for me to look and say, you know, that person there, he or she is much smarter. They do things way better than I do. And I've just been surrounded by amazing people, and I'm very thankful that we have a team like we have to move forward in the future, to give the best public safety service in all of North Central Washington that we possibly can.
In the Chelan County judicial contests, Travis Brandt, the winner, 74% of the vote. Brandt was running unopposed after Judge Robert McSeveny withdrew from the race, but his name still remained on the ballot. Kristen Ferreira outpolled Charles Steinberg 68 to 32%. In the district court race, Alan Blackman is behind Kyle Mott 56 to 44%. Chelan County PUD Commissioner Randy Smith won re-election rather handily over his challenger Darren Klingensmith. And by the way, according to Chelan County Auditor Skip Moore, there are still around 12,000 votes yet to be counted that are in his office, and maybe a couple thousand more that will be floated in over the next couple of days. The next round of numbers will be released on Friday afternoon. It's turned to Douglas County. It appears that voters have elected Mark Straub to replace Steve Jenkins as commissioner of the county's 3rd district. Straub garnered 64% of the vote last night's return. Norman Buck-Tupling polled 36%. Straub commented on his campaign and how he intends to represent the mostly rural 3rd district that he represents.
What I heard loud and clear is that my neighbors in the 3rd district, particularly in the North County, want to make sure that they're represented, and I totally get that. I heard it loud and clear, and my feeling is they're ever as important as anybody else in the county, whether it be in East Wenatchee or whether you be in Bridgeport or whether you're in Mansfield. We're all citizens of this county, and the 3rd district is very unique in a lot of different ways. I'm proud to live in the 3rd district, and it's by and large agriculturally based, and I have an ag background, I have a business background, so I believe I understand the needs, and I believe that I have a skill set that can help address the needs, and I intend to prove to those particularly in the North County, that I'm there for them, and that's important to me.
Continuing on with Douglas County, Sheriff Kevin Morris held off Leon Leidy for Douglas County Sheriff. He polled 67% of the vote. In the race for Douglas County District Court Judge, Eric Bigger leads Robert Hunter with 71% of the vote. 2 ballot measures appear to be passing in Douglas County. The cemetery district levy proposal is passing with a 55% approval rate as of now, and Fire District 4 levy is passing with a 51% yes vote. Douglas County Auditor Thad Duvall estimates there's about 6,500 ballots yet to be counted, and once again, those numbers will be updated and revised on Friday. There is other news on this Wednesday morning. Chelan County PUD appears to be in good financial health heading into next year. Steve Hare reporting that there are no rate hikes planned for the district's 2019 budget.
PUD commissioners reviewed the preliminary budget figures at their hearing yesterday. It proposes continued spending at the dams, in substations and technology, as well as paying down long-term debt by another $41 million. Next year's spending plan is based on 5-year business plans and supports strategic priorities to invest in employees and assets, keep the debt-to-equity ratio below 35%, and continue the public powered benefit program, including further expansion of the district's fiber optic program. Officials report the draft 2019 budget includes continued investments in capital projects of about $153 million, an increase from last year. Now, the PUD expects to end 2019 with a budgeted positive bottom line of $78 million. That's up from this year's budget of $72 million. A second hearing is set for November 19th. Staff will seek commission approval for the budget on December 3rd. Steve Hare, NCW Life News.
Thank you very much, Steve. 14 minutes after the hour, Wenatchee Valley College hosted a job and career fair. Yesterday, the college and Wenatchee Learns Connect partnered up for the event. It was held at the Wenatchee Valley College Student Recreation Center. Exhibitors representing business, industry, training programs, post-secondary education, and the military shared career-related information with area high school students during the event. The expo, which was expected to attract over 2,000 students from all over the area, intended to help them explore a variety of future careers and educational opportunities as they prepare to enter the workforce. Well, students at Washington Elementary won a bet this week in connection with the school's Readathon fundraiser. 3 kindergartners were the top moneymakers in the 2-week campaign that raised over $23,000 for new books. The 3 pupils were honored by their fellow students at a school assembly on Monday. The staff lost their bet with the students on how much they would raise, and as a result, they got their hair cut and their faces painted and their hair painted by the 3 5-year-old winners. I like that. Speaking of schools, anti-bullying videos produced this year by the Wenatchee School District students will premiere Wednesday evening in a special showing at the Numerica Performing Arts Center. Students from Lincoln Elementary School and Pioneer and Orchard Middle Schools worked with a New York filmmaker to produce the public service announcements that aim to stomp out bullying. The event starts at 6:30. It is free to the public. This is the 7th year now that the school district has participated in the Don't Wait to Unmask Bully project, which was founded by our very own Lisa Bradshaw. Here's a look behind the scenes of the Orchard Middle School video.
Okay, camera department.
This has 2 batteries left. Quiet on set! Quiet on set! Camera ready? Yep. Sound in? Yes. Roll camera, read it. Scene 1, take 2. Action!
You got something to tell you?
10
more minutes left.
Oh, 1 minute. Roll camera, slate it. Scene 3, take 7. Action. Why don't you let Melissa play? She always makes fun of Maddie. But she hasn't done it in a while. Yeah, well, she's just mean, so.
You guys both got me in trouble outside.
What's your problem?
Nothing. What's your problem? I didn't even do anything.
Whatever. So what? I didn't do anything either. Now nobody wants to play with me outside.
That's because you made fun of people.
Not anymore. You always got kids in trouble when they hung out with you outside, so.
No, they got me in trouble. Now I'll get them all back. You watch.
Maybe you should just say sorry instead.
What? Maybe you should say sorry for the jokes you made about Maddie.
You gonna make fun of me again? You all make jokes, so I try to make jokes. And maybe they're not funny, not nice. I'm
sorry.
And she apologized.
What?
She did?
She said she was sorry?
Jacob said he was sorry too. Maybe they're trying to be better?
Let's see how tomorrow goes. Let's give him a second chance.
Yeah, okay.
Good stuff from those kids. And again, tonight at the America Performing Arts Center, a special screening of the anti-bullying videos. It begins at 6:30 and it's free and open to the public. Check it out. The news with Eric Granstrom for at least a couple more days. We'll come your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Once again, Grant Olson continues his assignment. So Eric with the news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight. Don't forget, at 7 o'clock tonight, we'll be broadcasting the Eastmont Wildcats Central Valley Girls Soccer State 4A first round game right here on the NCW Live channel with Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wiesen on the call. So the game itself starts at 5. We're going to tape it and play it back so you won't miss the news at 5 or 6. Soccer at 7, news again at 10. If you prefer to consume the news at your own convenience on your computer or your tablet or your smartphone, we make that available to you as well. You can watch them on our website at ncwlife.com. We get the news up and running about 4:30 or 5. Same deal with our Facebook page. Go to our Facebook page about 4:30 or 5, and you'll be able to watch our half-hour newscast with the news, with the weather, with sports, and with Eric, again, whenever you want to at ncwlife.com. That's one of the tools you can use to get a hold of us is our website. Go to ncwlife.com. Enjoy the pointing and the clicking. There's a lot on that to keep you informed and up to date and entertained. ncwlife.com. In the upper right-hand corner of that page, you'll see a Contact Us tab. Click on it. Then you have two options. You can just drop us a note. That would be nice, especially if we're doing a good job, or if you have a news tip. You can send it to us as well. We all get it. Or, of course, you can just email us, news@ncwlife.com, go to our Facebook page, whatever it takes. Get a hold of us. This is as much your station as it is ours. It's 22 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break. When we come back, sports, the obscure holiday. Today in history, birthdays, everyone is entitled to Mike Ignati's opinion, and more election coverage. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live from Studio 9 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local Tel. Full Circle Theater Company presents The Hound of the Baskervilles, which is being performed this Friday and Saturday at the Riverside Playhouse. Get your tickets at numericapac.org. Laugh Riot 2018 is this Saturday at the Wenatchee Convention Center from 8 to 10:30 p.m. Come see the best in stand-up comedy. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
Beautiful morning outside of our studios. Beautiful morning everywhere. Lots of sunshine. It's chilly. It's only 34 degrees. We'll see high temperatures in the upper 40s to lower 50s right through this week, into the weekend, into the early part of next week. Lots of sunshine, cool temperatures, couple of passing clouds. That's about it. Very pleasant November weather. Let's do sports. Eastmont has advanced into the semifinals of the Big 9 District Volleyball Tournament, but just barely. They dropped the first two games to the visiting Eisenhower Cadets, 25-19. And then 25-21. Then the Wildcats on the verge of being bounced out of the postseason, and then they rallied. They won the third game, 25-22. They won the fourth game, 25-22. That forced a fifth and deciding game, and the Wildcats pulled it out. They downed Ike 15-13 in the finale. They advanced to the semifinals of the tournament, awaiting them undefeated West Valley. That will be Thursday at 5 o'clock at West Valley's Gymnasium. Wenatchee will face Moses Lake in the other semifinals. By the way, the Chiefs ended Sunnyside's season with a 3-0 sweep in volleyball. Even though the fall sports season is wrapping up, the winter season got underway in girls bowling as the Wenatchee Panthers opened their 2018-2019 campaign yesterday with a win at the Moses Lake Invitational. totaling 2,354 pins. The Panthers topped their rival, Eastmont, by 153 pins, leading by just 37 pins after the first two games. The Panthers got into gear with the Bakers. 171, 182, 190, and 203. Top individual Panthers scores went to junior Jaden Thompson, senior Jessica Holbrook, and senior Emily Groth. The Panthers are in action Thursday. They open league play. They'll be down in Yakima, the gateway to Wapato, to take on Eisenhower. Well, as a coach, you always want to have your team playing their best at the very end of the season. That's when the playoff, of course, roll around. For Eastmont soccer coach Erin Riedal, well, they got to have their soccer team and her soccer team playing their very best tonight. They will take on Central Valley at Wildcat Stadium. Central Valley was the regular season champions of the Greater Spokane League. They finished the regular season undefeated. They went 13-0-1. The Bears then beat Walla Walla and then Chiawana en route to the district championship, and then they lost for the first time this year when the Bears lost to Gonzaga Prep 3-0. Eastmont, meanwhile, has had to show a lot of resilience. They fell in the regular season finale. They lost to Moses Lake 3-0, so they found themselves the number 4 seed going into the Big 9 district tournament. They fought past a district play-in game against Davis. They beat the Pirates 3-1. Then facing the same team they just lost to a week earlier in Moses Lake, the Wildcats ended the Chiefs season in a big upset, 1-0, and then they traveled to Yakima and they won their first ever district championship by beating West Valley 2-0. So tonight will mark the first time in Eastmont school history that the Wildcats will play in the state 4A tournament. They kick it off with Central Valley at 5 o'clock. As I mentioned before, our crew will be there. Sebastian Moraga on the play-by-play, Matt Wisen on color, and we will play that match for you right here tonight at 7 o'clock. Here's what we know about Friday's game. Eastmont will be at Spark Stadium in Puyallup to take on Puyallup in the first round of the 4A tournament. It kicks off at 4 o'clock. Video of the game will be streamed on the NFSH network. This is a video streaming network. They have the contract with the WIAA to present games over the internet on a pay-per-view format. Eastmont fans, you can pay $10, watch the Wildcats and Vikings Friday night on your computers. So here's what the deal is. We're doing our very best here at the TV station to bring that stream over the air on this very station so you can watch it here and not have to pay the $10. The problem is getting a definitive answer if we can do it and how we go about doing it. Eric Granstrom will have more tonight when he does sports. Well, hopefully we'll have some good news. Hopefully we'll be able to carry the game via the World Wide Web on television on Friday night. Eric is also, of course, going to be checking out the Eastmont practice on this Wednesday afternoon. He'll interview Coach Michael Don, and we'll have more on that for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley tomorrow. College basketball season is here. I kid you not, Gonzaga, no problems with Idaho State. That's not a typo. 120-79. The Huskies beat back Western Kentucky, a good Western Kentucky team. 73-55. Eastern Washington stumbled on the road. They lost to the Orange of Syracuse, 66-34. Mariners have a brand new pitching coach. His name is Paul Davis. He spent the past 5 seasons in the Cardinals organizations as a minor league coordinator. He's been hired to replace Mel Stottlemyre Jr. According to Greg Johns of MLB.com, Davis is well regarded for his use of technology and video in the Cardinals minor league system, and he's developed an impressive line of young talent, including the Mariners' very own lefty, Marco Gonzalez. Welcome Paul Davis to the Pacific Northwest. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Wednesday, 28 minutes after the hour, the obscure holiday of the day today. It's healthy, it's delicious, it's easy to make, it's easy to snack on. It's bittersweet chocolate with almonds day today. Almonds go all the way back to ancient times. In fact, when they discovered King Tut's tomb about 100 years ago, there were almonds in it. That's pretty remarkable. It used to be a delicacy only for the rich people. Now anybody can do it. By the way, the United States is the world's largest producer of nuts. Sit on that for a minute. Almonds are rich in vitamin B and E. They got many essential minerals. You put the chocolate on it, yeah, it's a party in your mouth and everybody's invited. However, wild almonds can kill you. Wild almonds are very bad for you. First of all, they're very bitter. So if you bite into a wild almond, you'll know that, hey, something's not right. And wild almonds contain a lot of cyanide. So if you eat a handful of wild almonds, that's about it for you. But of course, they don't sell wild almonds. That would be stupid. Bittersweet chocolate with almonds day. Did I mention that the United States is the largest producer of nuts? I did, didn't I? 29 minutes after the hour. Today in history, presidential elections again. That seems to be the topic this week. It was 102 years ago today, November 7th, 1916, as the New York Times tells you. Woodrow Wilson defeated Charles Evans Hughes and is re-elected president of the United States. This was a fascinating election. Woodrow Wilson won the state of New Hampshire and the 4 electoral votes that came with it. by 56 votes. That's it, the smallest margin of victory ever in a presidential election. Charles Evans Hughes went to bed that Tuesday night thinking he had won the presidency. He really did. And then late returns from California gave Woodrow Wilson the state and therefore the presidency. When a reporter called up Charles Evans Hughes' headquarters to tell him the news, an aide answered the phone and he said, "The president can't be disturbed right now. You'll have to call back later." And the reporter said, "Well, when he wakes up, tell him he's no longer the president." By the way, Charles Evans Hughes was so bitter he wouldn't even concede the election for another couple of weeks, but he did go on to serve a very distinguished number of years as the Chief Justice of the United States, the 1916 presidential election, 102 years ago today. November 7th, 1944, 74 years ago today, FDR goes for a record fourth term as President of the United States of America. Of course, thanks to the 22nd Amendment, this cannot happen again. FDR was already critically, almost fatally ill. They hid that from the American public, and he knew that if he was going to be elected to a fourth term, he would not live it out, and so he kind of let the Democratic Party choose his successor in Harry Truman, knowing that he was probably not going to survive the fourth term, and of course, he did not. 74 years ago today. November 7th, 1972, 46 years ago today. Oops. Oh well. We got better. Nixon was reelected in a landslide, and then, well, I don't want to get into that. Richard Nixon reelected in a landslide November 7th, 1972. November 7th, 2000, 18 years ago today, Al Gore was elected the 43rd President of the United States. And then he wasn't. And then he was. And then he wasn't. And hanging chads in Florida and all that stuff. And then finally, the Supreme Court stepped in and that happened. There you go. We're over it now, aren't we? It went okay. That happened 18 years ago today. What a crazy Tuesday night that was, I can tell you that much. And finally, we got some birthdays for you today. Billy Graham would have been 100 years old today. Of course, we lost Billy Graham a few months ago, the American minister, probably the most influential preacher of the 20th century. It's thought that he preached the gospel to more people in person than any person in the history of this planet. On more than one occasion, the Reverend Billy Graham posted bail for the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Billy Graham would have been 100 years old today. A couple of rock and roll Hall of Famers: Johnny Rivers, singer, songwriter, guitarist, and producer. Summer Rain, Poor Side of Town, Secret Agent Man, Memphis, the great Johnny Rivers celebrates birthday number 76 today. And Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Joni Mitchell. Oh, one of my favorites. Court and Spark, Blue, Big Yellow Taxi, Help Me, Free Man in Paris. Both sides now, the legendary Joni Mitchell. There she is. She's 75 years old today. Thinking about you, Joni. Going to take a quick break at 33 minutes after the hour. When we come back, everybody is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. They're going to take a look at some of the results from the initiatives and some of the statewide races. What's going to happen with the Washington State Legislature, the House and the Senate, the balance of power there. We'll talk about that, and we'll recap the local races as well. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Paprika Mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
NCW Life Channel is proud to present the Spotlight on Business. We're going behind the scenes to bring you the story of local businesses throughout North Central Washington. How did they get started? And why are they so successful? We'll answer these and other questions each week with Spotlight on Business, Sundays through Fridays on the NCW Life Channel.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks. So bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
Thanks to the help I received at Goodwill,
I have a job. I'm working now. Thanks to Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill. Thank you, Goodwill. Thank you, Goodwill.
Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to get you back to work. When you donate to or shop at Goodwill, you're really helping people find work.
Thank you. Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, there's no comprehensive solution to school shootings. There's no one thing that if we do that one thing, it will guarantee to stop or even significantly deter someone intent on murdering school children. Deterring school shooting is going to take a wider ranging approach, much of it dependent not on government intervention, but on community involvement. This horrific situation, the murder of our children, is going to take each one of us being willing to stop our knee-jerk emotional reactions, ending the blame game, and most importantly, stop waiting for the government to act and instead ask ourselves, what can we in this community do to help provide an answer? This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local Tel. Holiday Open House and Wine Walk is this Saturday from 12 to 5 in downtown Wenatchee. Visit participating downtown locations hosting wineries and cideries from throughout the region. Also Saturday is Ladies' Night Out in Plain at Plain Hardware and Nordic Ski Trails from 6 to 8. Enjoy discounts on gifts, clothing, and holiday decorations. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
You don't want to see this happen. It's the oil light on your car. Oil is the lube of life for your car's engine. At Alignment Pros and Express Lube, they pour the best oil your car deserves. Expect fast, friendly, superior service in a clean environment. They'll change your oil and perform a 21-point inspection while you enjoy the comfort of their amazing waiting room. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
That's pretty much it. It's a great house, great neighborhood. It's great.
Sam's still getting used to the idea of moving.
Sam, you play basketball?
Yeah.
Let me show you something. Now I'm thinking you put your hoop right here, and you even got enough room for a three-point line. One of the things I've noticed is that if you got a hoop in your driveway, you make friends real fast.
At Coldwell Banker Levine, our agents don't just understand real estate, they understand what home is all about.
Welcome back to this Wednesday post-election day edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on a beautiful Wednesday morning. Lots of sunshine, 34 degrees. We'll top out at about 51 degrees with lots of sunshine right through the rest of the weekend. Of the weekend, a couple of passing clouds. Temperatures returning to normal after a long stretch of fairly mild weather. Let's turn our attention, first of all, to the Washington's congressional delegation to Washington, D.C. Going into last night's election, 6 Democrats and 4 members of the GOP represented our state and our nation's capital. That's now going to change to 7 and 3 after last night's results. Of course, the 8th District, Congressman Dave Reichert deciding not to seek re-election. About 200,000 votes have been counted so far on this very expensive race. Over $23 million spent between the 2 campaigns of Democrat Kim Schreier and Republican Dino Rossi. Kim Schreier has a fairly sizable lead. The race is still technically too close to call, but most of the late ballots that will be floating in that are already in auditors' offices simply haven't been counted yet, and those will be coming in over the next couple of days for those vote by mail. Most of those are in historically Democratic Southern King County. It looks like Dr. Kim Schreier will defeat Dino Rossi and assume the 8th congressional district. So that will change the ratio a little bit. Again, there are 10 congressional districts in the state of Washington. The other 9 that were running last night for re-election all won, actually rather handily. In the 3rd and 5th districts, Republican members of Congress won really no problems at all. Kathy McMorris Rogers has defeated Democrat Lisa Brown. Representative Jamie Herrera Butler is defeating Representative Democrat Carolyn Long. She's got a 52 to 48% lead there. So all of the incumbents running for re-election in our state were victorious last night in the one open seat being vacated by Dave Reichert. Now it looks like it's going to go to Dr. Kim Schreier. Again, there'll be some ballots and more votes being counted little by little throughout the course of the week. In Chelan and Douglas counties, those numbers will be updated on Friday. And a reminder that we talked about this, Skip Moore, Chelan County Auditor, estimates there's maybe upwards of 12, even 13,000 more ballots that his office will be counting between now and Friday. And Thad Duvall, the Douglas County Auditor, estimates there's about 6,500 outstanding ballots still to be counted there. So that's our congressional delegation to Washington, D.C. As far as the state house is concerned, going into last night's election, the Democrats had 50 seats and the Republicans had 48 seats. If the current projections hold with more votes to be counted, the Democrats would pick up 7 seats in the House and 2 in the Senate. The breakdown of the Senate right now is kind of an interesting. As you probably know, there are 23 Republicans and 1 independent Democrat who actually caucuses with the Republicans. So essentially the Democrats had a one seat majority in the Washington State Senate. If conditions continue to hold up and projections hold true for the next round of balloting, they will pick up 2 seats in the Senate. So in the Washington State Legislature, if things hold as they are this morning, the Democrats will pick up 7 seats in the House and 2 in the Senate. Let's talk about the initiatives to the public. First of all, I-1631. This was the so-called carbon tax, the carbon fee. That has been rejected by the voters, and that was rejected rather handily. The so-called grocery tax that would block certain cities and certain jurisdictions from enacting food and beverage taxes on certain kinds of food items. That leads by nearly 10 percentage points, so there won't be special taxes, or at least they won't have the ability to special tax soda and whatever stuff like that if that continues on Initiative 634. 1639 had a lot of attention. That was about guns, raising the minimum age to buy assault weapons and how you can store and handle your guns. That is passing overwhelmingly. 1639. That will impose some pretty strict gun regulations on residents of the state of Washington. And Initiative I-940, this involved making it easier, or at least making it less hard for law enforcement officers to have criminal charges filed against them. In the state of Washington, it's virtually impossible if you're a law enforcement officer to have criminal charges filed against you in the line of duty, basically deadly force. Voters are approving Initiative I-940, which will remove a lot of those barriers as well. So that's where we sit on this Wednesday morning. Again, still many, many more votes to count, but history has proven us that as far as the percentages are concerned, they change 2 or 3% either way for the most part, but outside of that, they usually hold pretty true to the results that come down on election night. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll recap the local races on this edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
Only one country could build a truck like this. Designed in California, engineered in Michigan, tested in Arizona, and assembled in Mississippi. Powered by Cummins of Indiana. The all-new Nissan Titan It's an American classic. Is it on your list? Come down and see us at Town Nissan behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
Collins Fashions has your lifestyle in mind. Casual to special occasions, head-to-toe styling, foundations to shoes, jewelry, scarves, handbags, awesome gifts too. Denim brands from Liverpool, Not Your Daughter's Jeans, French dressing, all fits and sizes. Slacks from Joseph Ribkoff, Renoir, Tribal, and Elliott Lauren. Easy care and flattering. Stylish sweaters from Icelandic, Curio, and Tribal. Great selection of cashmere sweaters and scarves too. We always have you in mind at Collins Fashions in downtown Wenatchee.
Turn back the clocks and grab the ice melt. Winter weather is here. This is Corey at Rose Tractor. If you're looking for a reliable way to clear snow, look no further than Cub Cadet. For sidewalks and driveways, a Cub Cadet snow thrower will get the job done in a jiffy. For larger jobs, a Cub Cadet Challenger utility vehicle with a snow blade will handle about anything. You can depend on Cub Cadet for years of reliable performance, and we'll help you select the best model for your job at Rose Tractor, family-run business at the corner of 3rd and Rock Island Road in East Wenatchee.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. It's about 47 minutes after they are. Let's recap some of the local races from the results that we received yesterday. And this is the one race that's going to take quite some time to decide. I'm talking about the Sean Smith-Bob Boogert race for Chelan County District 2 Commissioner Keith Gaynor leaving his seat, and it looks like he is going to be moving on to the Washington State Legislature. Sean Smith is holding on to a slim 51 to 49% lead, with many thousands of votes still yet to be counted. Sean Smith told me last night he was confident that his lead would hold up.
I'll just be, anxiously waiting to see what the outcome is, and confident that the lead will hold. And we have a slim lead right now, but we're coming in from the outlying areas, and I think that's more conservative draws in the outlying areas. So anxious to see those numbers come in from the smaller towns.
Yeah, precinct by precinct, we don't have the breakdown yet, and we won't have it for a while yet, but you think you're going to pull pretty well in the Upper Valley?
I think I will, yeah, especially in the smaller areas.
We all know the last week of what was going on with the media reporting on some of the issues with the Walkabout Grill and the taxes and stuff. You think that played a significant role, or people look past that?
I think anyone that has a realistic bone in their body looked past it and said, hey, business is business. It's a larger version of what we do in our own homes, and everybody has bills. It doesn't matter who you own. We all have bills.
The very definition of a very slim lead, just a little over 300 vote lead Sean Smith has over Bob Boogert. And again, as we mentioned before, there are at least 11,000, maybe closer to 12 or 13,000 more ballots yet to be counted, and the next round of ballots will be released on Friday afternoon. Let's turn to law enforcement. Sheriff Brian Burnett appears to have held off a challenge, a spirited challenge, from Deputy Jennifer Tyler. He got 65% of the vote as of last night. He talked to our news team outside of his campaign headquarters.
Very excited tonight to come in with a strong victory, and the support's been overwhelming throughout the campaign. People reaching out. My phones were blowing up today of support and of good words and good thoughts, and just the fact that. But I addressed our supporters here. We had a large crowd here at our gathering earlier tonight, and we just gathered them around about 10 minutes before we thought the numbers were going to be coming in, and because I just wanted them to hear from me personally, from my heart, what things meant and their support, and why I felt that we have the right team to move forward in the future as one of the first third-term sheriffs in a long time for Chelan County. And that being is, it takes a team, and it's not just myself. I walk down the halls in our office or around town, and the people that I work with and partner with, and it's easy for me to look and say, that person there, he or she is much smarter. They do things way better than I do. And I've just been surrounded by amazing people, and I'm very thankful that we have a team like we have to move forward in the future, to give the best public safety service in all of North Central Washington that we possibly can.
Let's turn our attention this morning to the Chelan County Judicial contests. Travis Brandt rolled to an easy victory last night, 74% of the vote. He was running essentially unopposed after Judge Robert McSeveny withdrew from the race, but he withdrew too late to have his name removed from the ballot. Kristen Ferreira outpolled Charles Steinberg for Chelan County Superior Court 68 to 32%. In the district court race, Kyle Mott currently has 56% of the vote. Alan Blackman, 44% of the vote. Chelan County PUD Commissioner Randy Smith, no real problems at all, a 2-to-1 ratio over his challenger, Darren Klingesmith. And as we mentioned before, there are at least 11, 12, 13,000 ballots in Chelan County alone yet to be counted. Those numbers, the updated numbers, will be released on Friday afternoon. To Douglas County we go, and it appears Douglas County voters have elected Mark Straub to replace Steve Jenkins as commissioner of the county's 3rd district. Straub got 64% of the vote. After last night's return, Norman Buck Tupling got 36% of the vote. Mark Straub dropped by our studios during our coverage last night. He commented on his campaign and how he intends to represent the largely rural 3rd district.
What I heard loud and clear is that my neighbors in the 3rd district, particularly in the North County, want to make sure that they're represented, and I totally get that. I heard it loud and clear, and my feeling is they're ever as important as anybody else in the county, whether it be in East Wenatchee or whether you be in Bridgeport or whether you're in Mansfield. We're all citizens of this county, and the 3rd district is very unique in a lot of different ways. I'm proud to live in the 3rd district, and it's by and large agriculturally based, and I have an ag background, I have a business background, so I believe I understand the needs, and I believe that I have a skill set that can help address the needs, and I intend to prove to those, particularly in the North County, that I'm there for them, and that's important to me.
Continuing on with Douglas County returns from last night, Douglas County Sheriff Kevin Morris held off Leon Leidy for Douglas County Sheriff. He pulled 67% of the vote. In the race for Douglas County District Court Judge, Eric Bigger leads Robert Hunter with 70% of the vote, with 71% of the vote, I should say. 2 ballot measures appears to be passing in Douglas County. The Cemetery District Levy proposal is passing with a 55% yes vote, as is the Fire District 4 levy, 51% yes vote. Thad Duvall is the Douglas County auditor. He estimates there's about 6,500 more ballots remain to be counted in his county. And if you're a Chelan County PUD customer, you got some good news yesterday. In fact, the economic health of the Chelan County PUD is so good that there are no rate hikes planned for the district's 2019 budget. Steve Hare reports.
PUD commissioners reviewed the preliminary budget figures at their hearing yesterday. It proposes continued spending at the dams, in substations and technology, as well as paying down long-term debt by another $41 million. Next year's spending plan is based on 5-year business plans and supports strategic priorities to invest in employees and assets, keep the debt-to-equity ratio below 35%, and continue the public powered benefit program, including further expansion of the district's fiber optic program. Officials report the draft 2019 budget includes continued investments in capital projects of about $153 million, an increase from last year. Now, the PUD expects to end 2019 with a budgeted positive bottom line of $78 million. That's up from this year's budget of $72 million. A second hearing is set for November 19th. Staff will seek commission approval for the budget on December 3rd. Steve Hare, NCW Life News.
Thank you very much, Steve. We appreciate it. It is 54 minutes after the hour on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We stayed up late last night, folks. You have to cut us a little bit of slack. We're going to take a little break. We're going to congratulate the Eastmont girls volleyball team. We're going to preview tonight's girls soccer match against Central Valley, a forecast and a past report one more time before we cut you loose and get you down the road on this Wednesday. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
What's your automocha emergency? It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate Frappuccino.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha Frappitas.
A peach Red Bull.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local Tel. Full Circle Theater Company presents The Hound of the Baskervilles, which is being performed this Friday and Saturday at the Riverside Playhouse. Get your tickets at numericapac.org. Laugh Riot 2018 is this Saturday at the Wenatchee Convention Center from 8 to 10:30 p.m. Come see the best in stand-up comedy. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
NCW Life Channel is proud to present the Spotlight on Business. We're going behind the scenes to bring you the story of local businesses throughout North Central Washington. How did they get started? And why are they so successful? We'll answer these and other questions each week with Spotlight on Business, Sundays through Fridays on the NCW Life Channel.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's been a banner autumn year for the Eastmont High School sports program. The Eastmont football team into the final 16. They'll take on Puyallup at Sparks Stadium Friday night at 7 o'clock. The Eastmont girls soccer team is in the state tournament for the first time in history. They take on Central Valley tonight at 5 o'clock. That is at Wildcat Stadium. Our cameras will be there. The game starts at 5. We will air that contest at 7 o'clock tonight, so that way we won't have to preempt the news at 5 and 6. So 5 o'clock is when they actually start the game. If you want to be there in person, if you want to watch it on television in high definition and stereophonic sound, you can do that at 7 o'clock tonight with Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wisen. And congratulations to the Eastmont girls volleyball team. Barely got by Eisenhower at home last night, but they did it. They won. They dropped the first 2 sets and they won the last 3 to move on. That means that the Wildcats will take on the West Valley Rams down in Yakima Thursday at 5 o'clock in the district semifinals. The Wenatchee Panthers will take on Moses Lake in the other semifinal. The winner of those 2 will play for the district championship and will punch their ticket to state. So congratulations. And again, we are endeavoring, we're going to do our very best to see if there's some way we can get the Eastmont Puyallup football game on this television station on Friday night at 7 o'clock. There are no guarantees. We have to jump through a lot of hoops. You can, if you're an Eastmont fan, you can watch it. You got to pay $10 and you can watch it online. We're going to see if we can work with our friends at the National Federation of High Schools and the WIA to see if we can get that internet stream and actually air it on our television station. We will know one way or the other with sports tonight with Eric Granstrom at 5 o'clock. And don't forget, Eric is also handling the news and the weather. One more look at your weather forecast because it's going to be a beautiful day today. If you like sunshine, go out and enjoy this stuff, but the temperatures are going to finally dip back down to normal. We've had 12 days in a row where the high temperature was above normal. That's going to change starting today. Our normal high temperature is right about 50, 49 degrees. As you can see, with a chilly start to the day today, it's going to take a while to get up to 51. Lots of sunshine today. No rain, no precipitation at all in the forecast. There's a big ridge of high pressure that's centered over British Columbia, and it's just going to sit there for a while, which means we're going to have lots of sunshine, but clear skies during the day, and clear skies at night means chilly overnight lows. Look at those overnight low temperatures. We haven't been below freezing in a long time. 29, 30, 31, 29. That is cold, and that's for the Wenatchee Valley. Obviously, some locations you will see overnight lows in the mid, even lower 20s. There is no rain, there is no snow in the forecast for the Wenatchee Valley all the way through Tuesday of next week. This, by the way, is perfect snowmaking weather for Mission Ridge. Mountain passes aren't going to have to deal with any snow at all. There are no advisories or restrictions on any of the major mountain passes. That's a live shot of I-90. That's a live shot of Stevens. As you can see there, no issues at all. Blewett's looking good, no precipitation. If you're heading up into the mountain passes, ladies and gentlemen, my advice to you is please use an automobile. It's just common sense. Hey, they have a big weekend coming up this weekend at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. My guest tomorrow on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Dave Tosh, the Executive Director of the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. He's on Thursday's show, and then on Friday, Jennifer Bouchon will talk all things Town Toyota Center. Everybody go out and make it a great Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.